the fact that no side's ever won an away semi-final in this competition?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I think the boys who come into work today, you can see there's a real energy and a focus about them, and we understand the challenge we're going to be undertaking, going to Thomond Park, but it's something that we're all geared up for, and we can't wait till next Saturday.
On reflection, what did you think of the performance last week?
I think it's pretty good. I think to go 24-0 up after 28 minutes, that was a real positive. We took our chances really well. And in fairness, we clung on in around the game. It's a good game to win out in Connacht these days. Obviously disappointed we didn't get the fourth try, but that's nature of sport, and it's something that was meant to be. And at the end of the day, I don't think we really performed the way we wanted to into the elements. But in fairness to Connacht, I think you've got to give them credit the way they come out in the second half. They know how to play in around that ground. That they probably even thought at 24-0 down they could still claw their way back in the game, which ultimately they nearly did. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased. There's another away win for us, and just a little bit of disappointment we didn't get the fourth try, but that's about it really.
With Thomond Park, what makes it such a sort of difficult place to play?
I think it's got an amazing crowd. They've always had a real exciting, experienced team in Munster. So yeah, it's always a difficult place. There's a real passionate crowd, passionate players. So on an occasion like a semi-final, it's probably going to be electric.
You actually got a good record up there, haven't
Yeah,
you?
decent enough, but I don't think that'll stand for anything come to Saturday really. I think the group are pretty confident in the way they play into the minute in time. And I think there's a good balance to our team, and we're off the back of some good victories. Yeah, we've won away from home this year, but we're a reasonably confident side in where we're at, and I think they're just really excited to get out there for Saturday.
Once upon a time, Thomond Park could have said home win guaranteed, but at Munster the same force and the same force at home. Obviously, they lose at home these days in big matches.
Yeah, they've lost at home a couple of times, but I think they're growing under Foley. In fairness, they've just I think the set piece is decent, and when they get in around the 22, they do squeeze teams. So it's important that we play to our strengths. But yeah, I think semi-finals, anything can happen. Going away from home, and like I say, it is like they got the advantage of the crowd and things. But it's something I think when you look back at the league with the point situation towards the back end of the season is really tight. We're all about the same amount of games won, so hopefully it won't have too much of a bearing on the semi.
Where do you think they are in their development compared to your development here?
I think they got a little bit more experience in around their team than us. I think there's more of a traditional Munster team. I think Foley's the blend of when Rob Penny was there. I think they've got a real good balance and how to squeeze the teams in. I think they've got good players all round, and they've got experiences in the right areas, and it's something like at the end of the day they are a formidable outfit. In fairness to Munster, they turn up generally wherever they go, so we know it's going to be a difficult game. But yeah, I think we're a little bit more youthful. I think when you go back to the weekend, Alan Wynn's 29, the nearest one to him is 26. It's a young team we're building at the minute, but I think it's pretty exciting, and I think sometimes with a bit of youth they haven't got negative experiences when they're going away from home. They're just going to get on with the business, and something we focused on right from the start of pre-season was the fact that we've got to do our own performance. We've got to look after our own training weeks. It doesn't matter who we're coming up against. If we don't perform and do our roles that we practice, then we don't stand the chance to win games, and that's what we're ultimately focusing on this week.
Steve, how much do you look at those two league meetings this season? Because obviously you're going into a very different type of game in the knockout sense.
Yeah, I think it's like there's no bonus points. Bonus points don't make a difference anymore. It's about ultimately winning an 80-minute contest. I think looking back, I don't think it'll have much of a relevance on the game. I thought we played one of our better games at home, in particular against Munster. I thought away tactically we were really smart in the weather conditions and things, and that was a real tight affair. They could have snuck it at the back end of the game, but our defence held firm at the time. But I think they've grown since then as well as us, and I think it's just going to be a real tight affair come Saturday.
Now I suppose it's when that experience that you're speaking about could potentially count for a lot in games like
that. I think like it can help, but I think we've won on the road a couple of times this year, which is good. We've picked up some tight wins out in Zebras, Treviso, the Dragons, so Blues, the Judgment Day. So we've picked up some home wins. I think even through that international Six Nations period, the autumn series, when we went to Ulster and Leinster with a much younger group as well. They had an experience, and we were losing bonus point out in Munster. We probably could have snuck something a little bit more in Ulster. So I feel the group are understanding what it takes to win away from home.
Steve, how much more satisfying would it be to win the title this year because you've done it with younger players?
Yeah, I think it'll be satisfying when everyone, no matter if they're younger players, older players. But I think where the group have come from, in fairness, and some boys in their first seasons of pro rugby properly. But yeah, I think it's something that I think the supporters, us as coaching staff, are extremely proud of to get to the semi-final stage. But it's something that we don't want to be talking about sort of just this one game. We ultimately want to win things irrelevant whether we're young or old. We want to win competitions, and it's something I think the group, in fairness, we're extremely proud of what they've done so far this season, but it's something we don't want to end quite yet.
You've been written off at various times throughout the season. You've probably written off again because you're away. Does that motivate you more?
No, I don't think it motivates us. I think it goes back to the point I made earlier. It was always going to be about us. Like, people can write what they want, but we can't change that. The only thing we can do is go around and consistently perform. Now, we've had some dips, and as we said at the start of the season, there'll be some dips along the way. There'll be some highs and lows, and something that happens with youth. And when you get like the injury glut we had in around the sort of Christmas period, it does take its toll on a team when you ask them to go to the well week in, week out. But we've had some amazing experiences along the way, and there's been some real high moments, and there's been some indifferent ones where we expected out of the start of the season, and to get a semi-final at the end of the year, I think, is real credit to the group and Griff and Gibbo, conditioning staff. I think as a team, I think we've done a pretty decent job.
You were predicted to finish 10th at the start of the season. You've had injury lists in particular positions that were just extraordinary, weren't they? So give us an idea of the scale of the achievement with the age profile of this side that everyone had written off. I
don't know, I haven't really reflected that in detail about it because we're still in season. We're desperate to go and put at least one more positive performance in. I think when we look back at the end of the season, we'll be relatively satisfied. But it's something we want to kick on. Like in sport, it continually keeps moving. And like we said, we're extremely proud of the group to where in around going to Metro, like you say, with the injury list and things and experiences like Mark Thomas sticks out, those kind of moments. It's really motivating and proud for us in around our performances, relevant what people say around you. And I think when we look back at this season, I think the supporters and the club will be pretty proud of our efforts this season.
You played during the Glasgow's era where the feeling was the team didn't quite deliver on the potential
Yeah.
that they should have had. What do you think the potential of the side now is, given their age profile over the next 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, I think there's real potential to get through, and like you say, it all depends. Sometimes you get hit with injuries, and through those sort of Six Nations autumn periods, in fairness to the development system they got in the club, we consistently can produce a hell of a lot of Welsh internationals, so we always seem to get hit pretty hard, and whereas we probably lose, I'd say around 15 to World Cup, including the Canadians and Matavisi, so that period at the start of the year is going to be a real good test for us once again, so we'll be even more reliant on our development system, which is pretty exciting for us to see the next growth. But I think people will understand what we are a little bit more come next year, so I think it'll be, and obviously having a large period away for pre-season, we'll be catching up a little bit. But yeah, it's something I think with the group, with financial resources, probably you look at the top four at this minute in time, where we sit in around financial constraints, we are probably punching above our weight in around budgets and things, but we've got our own expectations, own standards, and that's something we're the only teams that can judge at. Matavisi picked up a bit of a adductor, so we're waiting on him to see how he is, and Jeff is hopefully going to do a little bit of running this week, so we'll see if he comes into contention, but that's about it. We won't be having anyone back. It'll just be maybe Jeff.
Do you see something in yourselves like Munster pride yourselves on the jersey, commitment, determination? Do you see that with the Ospreys as well? You're sort of forming that?
Yeah, I think Munster have got a massive history, and you look back how many years they've been going, whereas we are still in the infancy of what we do, but there's definitely a pride when we wear that jersey. I think that is one thing I don't think people, when you look at us, can ever question, and how we relish wearing the shirt. I think when you represent that, it's a real honour. And you've only got to look from, I go on about all the time, the likes of Alan Wynne, Biggs, Webby, Tips, when they come back from international camps, they want to play. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's not them looking for a rest. I want this, I want that. They want to play. I can remember making that phone calls to all the boys after the Zebra game, saying one or two of them be on the bench, and they all wanted to get on. They all wanted to play. Biggs and Webby like, oh, can we start? It's like we've got Sammy D and Abbas who've come in and done really well, put in outstanding performances against Munster, and then you see the young kids coming through. They want to be like those guys. They know the expectation in around wearing that shirt, and it's something we're extremely proud of. And there's been a lot of players like Duncan who's coming to the end in the fact of the pride he still has in seeing in around that jersey when he's around the group. So I think that is the important part about what we are.
Tell me about Reece Webb this season, Steve. Voted Player of the Year. What's he done this season, do you think, to perhaps move up a level in his own game?
I think he's been consistent. I think the team have got to take a bit of credit for allowing a lot of platforms in the way we've tried to play the game. You've got people inside him, Baker, Biggs and Sam Davis and Matt Davisi around him. So I think the team will take a little bit of credit in around that. But Webby's performances have been outstanding. He's, at the end of the day, the amount of tries he scored for us and just how much attention he draws to defensive teams. Yeah, and he's been consistent in his performance. It's been great for him not to have an injury-plagued season. He's had a real good pre-season to start with. He's sharp. He looks after his recovery. He is a professional athlete, and I think it's great credit to Reece picking up Player of the Year, and I think it's something he thoroughly deserves.
One more question is,
Do you think that because of the award now, do you think people might start targeting Reece a bit more? Perhaps they already have.
No, I think that ship has sailed. When you listen to the referee Mike's watch 9, watch Webby, he's going to run. You know that was. I think they started picking about probably after the first couple of games of the season. They know what a powerful threat he is, and it's something that, if you were a coach, you don't be similar with us. We look at Conor Murray and how influential he is on the Munster game. Paul O'Connell, Keatley, these guys. I think any coaches out there would see him as a genuine threat.